Hi guys, Coach Stephen here. Today we're going to be focusing on posture. So having correct alignment, having correct body tension, having correct weight distribution. So body architecture, how to use your body better. Because the geometry, the body geometry, the body tension, the alignment, all of these things are critically important for function and health. So if your spinal alignment is out, your core control is going to be out, your breathing is going to be out. If one goes out, it's going to affect the other systems. Okay, so to demonstrate different types of posture. So this could be a collapsed kyphotic posture. You see the curve in the spine. Now some people have this posture sitting in chairs and even walking around because they're thoracic muscles, they're thoracic extensor muscles here, which is this, your back extension muscles connecting. Those are very weak on them. Perhaps their chest is very tight. It's usually, it's a relationship. If this is tight, that's generally going to get loose and overstretched. If that's tight, then the antagonist muscles on the other side are going to get let loose, overstretched. You've got a joint capsule. Every joint has different muscles pulling on it at different angles. And if you've got a problem here, this is probably pulling it this way, so if the opposite side is going to have the opposite effect. It's going to have a follow-along effect. So you get these different three-dimensional tensional problems. Okay, so you can see that in the shoulder. This is like a forward rounded shoulder. Well, this is a forward shoulder. It's collapsed chest position. Here. Hopefully it's not the greatest lighting. Let's move back into better light for this actually. Okay, so carrying on, put a collapsed internal position like this. Thumbs facing opposites. Over rounded position of the shoulders. So you don't want to be stuck all the way forward like this, but you do want to have the ability to enter this range of motion. But then you want to be able to stabilize it with your shoulder blades. And your lats connecting here. Okay. Okay, so looking at abdominal contraction again. Okay, so, and you see, playing with levels of tension like this, so I can actually press into my abdomen. So here you can feel around your intestines, you can feel into your abdominal muscles, your rectus abdominis, your transverse abdominis, your obliques, your psoas muscle in here that runs from your hip flexor that runs through, connects to the back of your spine here. That's one of the reasons you get sciatica, or one of the main reasons sciatica occurs. It's lumbar pinching due to a tight psoas muscle or a postural deviation that causes pinching in the spine like this. And then you need to look at what's causing that postural deviation, what's causing that posture abnormality or issue, and address the tensional or structural issue that's causing it. Okay, so demonstrating activating core, relaxed, starting to activate, activating more, and connecting it to the obliques, into the serratus, into the lat, into the shoulder. Bringing that into the arm. Lat activation there. Okay, so this is playing around with activating the muscles, activating the core, and then activating the intrinsic core into the extrinsic core, so like the inner core stabilization. It's contractions and sequencing from the inner core to the outer core to the limbs, so you can think of it in that sense. It's proper creating connection between your center and your limbs, your extremities, so you can channel energy through your extremities into each other, also utilizing the core as your center of mass. So you've got control and sequencing, coordination. connecting different things together in different ways. As you can see, relax. This is not the same thing as if I connect all of this together. You can see here the level of muscle tone and activation changes drastically. So you want to be able to sequence these different muscle contractions and see how the geometric patterns, positioning, so how the structural positioning, how it all works together and how you need to adapt your tension and muscle contraction in the right patterns with the right timing, so with good sequencing and coordination to connect various muscles and joints and angles synergistically. Camera angle. Play with lines of tension across the feet, across the knees, across the hips, across the shoulders. Playing with shifting. Relationship of sway that with your weight shifting, with the rotation. So there's a certain way the body will flow nicely. A certain time that you can experiment with between the different joints, muscles activating.
Okay, at this point in the video you can see we're beginning to look at functional mobility of the lower legs especially. So working synergistically between, from the tip of the toes through the midfoot, ankle, knee, hip complex. So utilizing functional range of motion, keeping a good cross tension across the joints, ipsilateral and contralateral, so on the one side and the other side, so the right leg and the left leg, for example. What the left knee does affects tension across the body all the way to the other knee. So here you can see bending down in a low lunge, touching the floor. Okay, switching legs. Okay. And playing around with different points of rotation, different lines, different positioning.
So this isn't maximal contraction, this is functional contraction now. So we took it from extremes, relaxed, to charge everything up. This fly is driving me crazy. Where the hell was it? Anyway. Is there one big ass fly? Let me not get complicated and philosophical here. Carrying on.
At this point in the video, you can see we're beginning to enter into more Tai Chi type movements with expansion and flexion, internal rotation and external rotations, playing with opening and closing. And that is phenomenal for different connective tissue and alignment and retensioning.
Playing with different types of pressing motions. I don't think these shadows are working particularly well.
Here we're just playing around with camera angles. You're getting to get a run around of the productive journey with me here, experimenting, trying to make better angles, better lighting, trying to make it interesting for you guys.
Yeah, try this for a while. Right, vertical weight distribution. So, weight under the ball of your foot in this arch, weight distribution in your foot across your pinky bone and your big toe bone. So, there. Even weight distribution. You want to have a good sense of how much weight you're putting in which part of your foot. So it's not just weight in your feet, it's weight tactfully, carefully allocated and distributed in your foot for a functional foundation. So it's done with purpose. If you walk around in shoes a lot, walk around flat surfaces a lot, if you don't walk barefoot, and if you don't use the muscles in your feet to do different things for mobility and strength and function, they get weak. That's how it is. Most people have weak feet. So walking barefoot, practicing, using your foot almost. Your foot's not so different to your hand, We're not that far from monkeys. Like, the foot actually has a lot of muscle in it, and you can do quite a lot of things with your feet if you've got a little bit of muscular control in it. Like, I'm not super flexible or anything, but you can see how you can change the position of the ankle, where you're putting weight, pulling it in, turning it out, pushing it forward. So you can try extend for almost a straight line, so you point your toes, rotate it in. Hopefully you can see how that makes a difference when you're utilizing the hip and the knee.
Okay, at this point in the video I'm just going to demonstrate some single leg balancing along with some various kicks, front kick, side kick, snap kick, thrust kick, just to demonstrate different movements of the foot, ankle, knee, hip complex. Foot to core sequencing, balancing, stability work. It's all very important, so yeah, getting a quick demonstration of how this is done with martial arts type kicking. So it's not a textbook kicking technique a lot of the time, it's just demonstrating the possibility or variety of possibility in movement. Alright, now that I'm demonstrating some of the kicks, I've got into a little bit of a shadow boxing mentality, so visualizing an opponent and just, throwing different kicking techniques along with the odd punch or kick or push, or, catching a leg, lifting it up, trips, moving around, playing, sweeping someone's foot, maybe kicking to the knee there, stomp push, followed up with an elbow. Play, Experiment, visualize, work through movements, but also visualize an intent for your movement so it has purpose. Needs function. Function, if you have visualization with a function in mind, it helps your movement be functional, and that's critical. You don't want to do random things that hurt you. That should be for a purpose. Okay, so during the shadow boxing, I started playing around with the high guard here, along with various slap parries, head movement, weight distribution, shifting, weight distribution to the left, to the right, to the inside, to the outside, up, down. There you go, getting a shift of weight, stepping through, striking, shifting back, throwing some hands, switch step, kick, throw some hands, shuffle to the side, kick through Muay Thai kick, front kick, swing kick like a Muay Thai kick. And again back this way. Just playing around, Doesn't have to be perfect, it's just movement exploration for
take a little bit of
learning and fun.
Break, breather. So demonstrating different biomechanics, flow, energy propagation, functional mobility, functional strength. This case under the demonstration of martial arts movement, but it can be all sorts of different types of movement: dance, climbing, running, ability at a certain task. So specific adaptations to impose demands. What do you want to be good at? You need to do that kind of stuff. Go well, do well.